as hard-up Brits continue to fork out £7 million a day to house thousands of mainly Albanian migrants in luxury hotels. Hordes of the country's nationals flocked to the streets of London last night to celebrate Albania Independence Day. Now, that defiant spectacle could be seen as a slap in the face for the British public, who have been forced to sit and watch as their local hotels are taken out of action to house some of the 42,000 migrants who have descended on our shores this year alone. As the invasion reaches grim new levels, Home Secretary Suella Braverman thinks she may have the answer, with a plan to reportedly resurrect a list of designated safe countries, including the fast-track deportation of bogus asylum applications from places like, you guessed it, Albania. Fleet Street legend Kelvin MacKenzie joins me now. He was in the thick of it last night as central London turned into little Albania. So, Kelvin, what was it like? What was the mood like? Was this a genuine celebration of Albanians who were wanting to acknowledge their culture, or was this a more provocative action, Kelvin?
I guarantee to you this was a V sign to a country that has given them a home, and also probably created quite an amount of wealth in areas which, strangely in this country, are considered illegal. I mean, they're supposed to be number one in the drugs trade and also number one in the sex trade. But last night had nothing to do with celebrating the joys of Albania and living in the UK. This was designed to cause maximum chaos. It was shocking. The whole of central London came to a grinding halt. The police, by the way, were screaming around, and we got caught up with it at some stage about 10:30, 11 at night. And by the way, caught up with it at 7 o'clock. You couldn't get a cab in London. Why? Because the cabs couldn't get to the major stations, because especially around the Westminster area and in central London, they completely got the whole country to a standstill. The whole of the capital to a standstill. This was a deliberate V sign to us. I have no idea why they should feel bad about this. Look at this. Look at the cars that they've got. They seem to be doing fantastic over here. I do hope that that HMRC knows something about them. But look, moving on to this other aspect of this is that the situation has reached terrible point where Braverman is now saying she's reeling out an idea that Priti Patel looked at and then abandoned because our old chums, your old chums at ECHR, had actually given it the thumbs down. There is no way that we are going to be able to grab hold of the Albanians, stick them on. What are we going to do? Stick them on the plane? Stick them on the plane? They're going to fight their way on the plane. By the way, I've lost my thing, so I can't hear your response. So I'm going to have to carry on talking.
Can you hear me? Well, Kelvin, put it back in. Put your thing back in, and I'm going to give you a little stat while you're doing that.
Go on, carry on. I've got it now.
Okay, good. So while you're doing that, a really shocking figure emerged yesterday that shows a staggering 55% of Albanian asylum applications were accepted in the UK in the last year alone. Kelvin, in France, they accept 2% of the applications from Albania. We are a soft touch.
You know why? Because they know that if they're rejected, then the Albanians will keep going to a place that will accept them. So they can see people saying, no, you're not coming here. But I wonder whether you've heard of that place called the United Kingdom. They love you guys. Keep going. You tell me, will anybody of your panel, in fact, ask your panel, there's some fairly bright guys there, not all of them, but some of them, ask them how on earth you're going to grab hold of Albanians, stick them on the plane when they don't want to go. What will you do? Will you do it like one of those old movies? Will you go and will it be like Con Air? Will you start handcuffing them? And how many can you send out at a time? I mean, literally, we got 13,000 of them waiting to go. So what will you do? How many planes will that have to be? It would be half of EasyJet.
What's the Kelvin MacKenzie solution?
The Kelvin MacKenzie solution is we never allow them to land. Okay, if they land, we have a huge, I don't know, like some kind of Cunard liner, and we stick them on that, and then we take them back one way or another to Albania. The minute you have them on dry land in the UK, we are done for.